up, Tassie Gang? I'm back with another video. As you probably can tell from this title what kind of video this will be. It's kind of like a story time for my part one of when I did have a C-section from my son that had passed. So this is just the part two, or not recap, but oh, look at my hair. Not a part, wait, that was a part one, so this is probably part two. Just this specifically. Not like a it's just like an update of the part one. Well, you guys know I did the castor oil to kind of help with the scar tissue that I had in my stomach. I was not using it to get pregnant, but it did actually help me get pregnant. So if you want to get pregnant, castor oil can help. If you're having trouble with that, I heard good things about it with the infertility issues. Like I said, I was not trying to get pregnant. I just wanted to help my body with the scar tissue that I had. So I ended up getting pregnant. I ended up getting really, really sick, which was kind of due to me being pregnant. I couldn't keep anything down. Food, water, juice, does not matter what it was. I could not keep it down, which was insane. So it kind of made me even sick with my heart. I started getting heart issues. It was palpitating so much and so fast, so quickly. I could just be sitting down and it would just go up to maybe almost 180, 200 beats per minute, which was crazy. But I had a heart monitor on for 30 days, maybe 2-3 weeks after we found out I was pregnant. I ended up being on a heart monitor. So yeah, they ended up diagnosing, saying it was nothing wrong with my heart when it goes up. It's just like I went running and I just stopped, but I wasn't doing anything. So I was just really, really dehydrated. So my heart was just overworking itself. And mind you, I was pregnant, so the baby was kind of taking anything that I did put in my body, it would take it. So I wasn't getting any nourishment or nothing. So with that being said, after all of that happened, we ended up moving back to where we originally lived. So we moved back this way, which was good because I did not like the hospitals where we were. So I ended up moving back this way. So how I found out my son passed, I actually went to the hospital for a toothache, which was crazy. I started getting toothaches really, really bad once I got pregnant as well. So Tylenol, no ibuprofen was working. So I ended up going to the hospital, telling them that my tooth hurt. You got to do something. It's hurting really bad. And by me being 21 weeks, they still have to check on the baby. So they couldn't find a heartbeat with the regular monitor. So I had to have an ultrasound done at the hospital. You know, the ultrasound techs don't tell you anything what goes on, but she was really, really quiet. And then when she wheeled me back to my room, she was like, "Good luck." And I'm like, something's wrong. Like, she was just really, really odd. So I just knew something kind of like, something was going on. And then I kind of eavesdropped, listening to her tell the doctor, you know, what she kind of saw. And then she was like, no heartbeat. So I looked at my husband. I'm like, yeah, something's up. So the doctor at the emergency room, he ended up calling my doctor. And my doctor wanted to see me first thing in the morning. So we went to his office and he spoke with us, and he told us what the emergency room already told us, that it was no heartbeat with my son. So he wanted to send us to this like bone marrow place or something that had better equipment, such as the ultrasound machine, to kind of really see if he did pass and when did he pass. We went there the same day. He passed at actually 17 weeks and we were 21 weeks pregnant. So imagine carrying a baby all the way up until then and having no knowledge of him or her passing. So he indeed passed at 17 weeks and we were 21 weeks. His heart stopped. He stopped growing at 17 weeks. So that's when they said that he passed at 17 weeks. So after leaving there, my doctor called me again within an hour. He wanted me to come back to his office. Was it the same day? The same day. No, the next day, to kind of go over the C-section because we had to give birth. So imagine going through, you only went to the hospital for your toothache and then find out your baby has no heartbeat. Had to have a ultrasound and confirm there was no heartbeat or he had passed, and then you have to give birth. That was crazy, all in like the midst of 24 to 48 hours. So we came back there. He ended up talking. So we came back there. He ended up talking to me and my husband and explained to us that we were going to give birth. We were going to have a C-section, but the C-section that he was doing was called a hysterectomy. I've never heard of that before. And I never had to have one of them before, so I've never heard of it before. So he explained to us on the outside, it would look like you had a C-section, but the inside would be like it would be a small incision on either side of your uterus. It wouldn't be the full cut on the inside of you. So that was what he said was the hysterectomy. And his nurse was going to call us back. Well, my hair's so ugly. His nurse was going to call us back to confirm the dates that we had to be at the hospital to give birth. So she called us the next day and she told us in 2 days after we had to go to the hospital this time. No eating and drinking after 12, and so forth. And that video, I will leave a link for that video so you guys can watch that video, some of the process of what happened from that 12 o'clock at night until we left the hospital. So we did instructions and we got there, and at first we were on the, I guess, surgical floor. I'm not sure, but I believe it's like a surgical floor. They have, surgery there. But they end up moving us to the OB and, the labor and delivery floor. Once they did that, it got real. Like, I was really, really nervous. I was really scared. They gave me some medication in my IV to kind of, help me calm down a little bit, because it don't matter how many C-sections you had, or if this is your first one, you're still going to be nervous or have anxiety or something, which I did really, really bad. I didn't even know I had anxiety, but yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, it was crazy. So they ended up giving me, I was really scared about having a C-section because it would be my 4th C-section. But he explained to me that it really wasn't a C-section, but it was a C-section. And the way he did it was so that I can have kids again if I want to. Well, another one. So I'm okay to have another one. But after that, it's like, I don't know. It's I don't know. It's scary. So they gave me something in my IV. After they did that, they did the spinal tap in your back, which was not as bad as I hyped up myself to be, because I was really scared about that. I was really scared about that. So they ended up giving me a medication. I don't know what it was called, I forgot, but it put me at ease to the point that I didn't even know I had got the spinal. Okay, I didn't know the spinal was done until they started laying me down. I'm like, wait. Don't I get something in my back or something? Did you do it? He's like, oh, we already did it. I'm like, okay. So, yeah, that happened, and it really wasn't as bad as I worked myself up to be bad. So, after that, I gave birth really, really quick. Like I said, he cut the outside like a C-section, but the inside of me is just a small cut because my son was not as big, like a full-term baby. So, they did that. They let us hold him, take pictures with him, all things that we wanted to do to keep us, give us a sense of comfort. And that was really, really good. Just to have that. Now that I think about it, because at first it was really, like, I don't know, everything happened so fast. It was really crazy. So we stayed there for 2 days. They kept him and at the hospital for maybe about 4 days after we left. They called us and told us that the funeral home can pick him up. Me and my husband decided to have our son cremated. It was just a decision that worked best for us. So our funeral director, she actually gave us necklaces with a little bit of his ashes in it, me and my husband, and we have a little urn, iron urn, however you say it, with him. So it was very sentimental. We have his death certificate and everything like that. So if you guys have a baby that has passed, at such an early stage or whatever, I guess you can have a funeral or a like a little service or something, but we end up getting him cremated, which, like I said, worked for us. So like, you guys can do what works for you. So in general, my 4th C-section or 3rd and a half C-section was not as bad. As long as you discuss with your doctor if you could have another one or is it safe for you, then you should go for it. It really wasn't bad. The recovery time for me was what was kind of bad for me, because I am 31. My last C-section was 8 years prior to this one, 8 years ago prior to this one. And I never had bad time recovering from my regular birth to no C-section. And this one was the only one where it was kind of like tough for me. And it really wasn't a full C-section. So my body is not with the pain stuff no more. So no, it was fine. It was like nothing was, what in the world, everything hurt, my stomach and my back and my head, everything was just all bad. So, but I over-exaggerated because I healed pretty quickly. Maybe 2 weeks, like I was okay. Yeah, 2 weeks. Because in the process, after I gave birth, we still had to get our house in order because we moved, like I said. We ended up having a wedding I was in. My husband was also in my sister's wedding. After the wedding, we went to Vegas for a week. So we just came back from Vegas maybe a couple of days ago. So yeah, it was a lot going on. That's what took me so long to make this video. But I do want to start making more videos, start being more in tune with my YouTube family, because I love you all. But like I said, the C-section was not as bad. It was my 3rd and a half C-section, so my 4th C-section, so to say. But like I said, also discuss with your doctor if it's okay for you to keep having a C-section. If you are trying to get pregnant, the castor oil does work. As you guys can see, it did work. I did get pregnant on my first time using castor oil. Yeah, and I was not using it to get pregnant. I just ended up getting pregnant. So out of all those times before, like, I ended up just getting pregnant because of the damn castor oil, but I wasn't trying to get pregnant, using castor oil. It just happened. But like I said, my son had passed at 17 weeks. Because a lot of people ask me that, like, how? A lot of people ask me, how did I not know that he had passed? I really did not know he passed. Like I said, I went to the hospital for a toothache, but it ended up turning to be something else. So at 17 weeks, yeah, I went to my doctor. I think I went to my doctor at 17 weeks, and we heard his heartbeat. His heartbeat was actually 156 beats per minute. And maybe a couple days after that, my toothache was hurt. My tooth was hurting really bad, and it was what made me go to the hospital. I didn't have no bleeding, no cramping, no signs of miscarriage or going into labor, nothing. I had nothing. It was just my tooth was hurting, and I went to the hospital for a tooth. And I found out that it was more than a tooth. I just kind of look at this experience as if God was saving me from something that could have been, like maybe it was, maybe something else could have happened or would have happened, and that's the way I kind of look at it, but I have an angel. I have an angel in heaven. He was born with all his toes. He was born with all his toes, his fingers, his ears, Only thing, he did not have his hair on his head, and you can see the eyebrows starting to come in. Started to come in on his, yeah. So I think, yeah, he looked just like his dad, actually. So yeah, that was a very different experience for me and for my husband as well. I'm not sure if we're going to try to have a baby. I'd rather adopt. This experience was very humbling and very mind-blowing and scary, because it's not like the norm. Well, it's not the norm for me. Once I shared my experience, I had a lot of other women reach out to me, and it happened to them, and I did not know this was something that was kind of, not to say normal, but something that happens. And it's crazy, and it's something hard to get over or to get through, because I don't think you get over it. You just learn to cope with it, learn to get through it, you know. My husband has been a great support system with this whole process, but I have to understand that I have to be a great support system to him too, you know, because he felt it too, you know. Also, the kids feel things as well, so it's a tough situation. You just learn to kind of get through it, or yeah, cope with it as best as you can. Yeah, so that was my story time of what happened what recently just happened. Giving birth, my 4th C-section, or 3rd and a half, if however you want to say it. Yeah, that was that. But to all the other ladies, you will get through it. If you've ever been through this, you'll get through it. Trust me. And we will be uploading more pranks, vlogs, story time, and yeah, whatever else you guys want to see us do. The whole entire family, we are back because we love YouTube. We love our YouTube family, and we will be back with another video.